Welcome to our podcast, It's About Payroll. We're your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III. Whether you're new to the payroll game or a seasoned veteran, we have something for you. Welcome back, folks. Next episode, season 5. Oh, is this season? Oh, this is episode 1 of season 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Welcome, folks. Check out the new backdrop. Like we're coming, we are, we're evolving.
Season 5.
Season 5, yo. We're almost on a year. We're almost at 50, 50 something episodes. We're going to do something special for episode 50. Why not? Right? Man, what's up, Walt? How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Like blessed. Happy to be here, man. Excited.
Me too.
All the different connections and people that are reaching out to us, man. Like that has been awesome, especially these last couple of weeks and months. So that has been amazing to me. So yeah, man, I'm very excited. How about you, man?
I'm good, man.
The Yankees.
Yeah, man. Baseball season's here, right? Opening day just passed. Yankees, we split so far. We got a win, got a loss. See how it goes.
Yes.
I'm excited for the new season. I'm excited for spring.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this year. We're on season 5. This is episode 1. We're bringing you protection against payroll scammers, right? And it was almost like a quick oversight, like, it's no brainer. No, it's not. It's actually not a no brainer. There's some really good nuggets here. We found a great article by Kristin Hines. She wrote about payroll diversion and what that is, and it's basically payroll fraud. So yeah, anything before we get right into it?
Man, just thinking about like all the AI, all the different levels and different sectors that AI is touching. And I'm interested to see how that is going to impact payroll, because it's going to impact
absolutely
every sector out there, right?
Yep.
No matter what type of work you do, there's potential for AI to come in and enhance that.
Mm-hmm.
Or potentially replace. So I think that's something that we have to, maybe another episode.
For sure.
How AI is going to impact
many episodes, I would imagine, in the future. Yeah, no, we're really excited about AI, and I believe that we have to usher it in. We have to be the ushers of the technology if we want to stay relevant, if we want to stay a part of the conversation for payroll. Of course, the fear is crazy, right? There is a fear of Skynet, and I'm speaking of like Terminator and the movies, for real, right? Like, because that's where it ultimately could go, Matrix and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know, folks. Like, we have a job to do, right? We have to usher in technology with hopefully lead with our best foot, like idealistic in that sense, where it's not going to get to that. Yeah, I think it's great. I think I'm seeing a lot of opportunities for learning. I think I'm going to take advantage of something like that. I see like some universities and college are putting out like little micro learning things, right, for like a few weeks, and you learn about AI and you learn about machine learning and stuff like that. So I think, as payroll professionals, invest in ourselves, right? And stay with, I'm also reading. We're always sharing content and consuming so much content with AI. Yeah, great call out, man. I think it'll be many episodes. We'll definitely talk more. I have some ideas for it. So yeah,
and I think it kind of fits into this what we're gonna talk about now, because the scheme, the way that these scammers do things, is gonna change.
You're right.
When it comes to AI,
we're gonna get more sophisticated.
When it comes to digital currency, all this different
really great call. Yep,
just right. As we enhance, they're going to enhance as well. So this is something that gets perfectly into today's episode.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So let's get into it. Again, we found a great article by Kristin Hines. Make sure she gets her flowers for this. She did the work to put this info together, and it's a really good, like, specifically payroll diversion, right? There's a ton of stuff on cybersecurity, but shout out to Kristin for putting this together straight for payroll. Being very payroll specific. So we definitely honor that. And she defines payroll diversion as a type of payroll fraud where cyber criminals trick employees or payroll managers into changing their direct deposit information. And clearly then the money is going to go to their account. Oh, okay. So they have a name for it. Business email compromise. Very interesting. Okay. The hackers are doing the research. They're looking up your company website, right? They see who the payroll person is, the payroll manager is, or whoever that, right? They know who your CEOs are. They know who your leadership teams are. So that's one angle. If they're actually infiltrating, which she quotes in this as well, if they're infiltrating your systems and all that, they kind of know then who emails you the most, right? So now that's different. It's one thing for like the CEO to email you, but if they find out who you're always in touch with, that scam email may be a little bit more dangerous. So
I know. So
go ahead. No, go ahead. That was it.
I noticed here that under the infiltrate section here, some of the things that they do is that they look through the credential, they do credential phishing.
Yeah.
And then they register fake domains and make it seem like a lookalike account.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of these email domains. One of the keynotes here that it says is that small business email domain, some of them are not protected by the two-factor.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So it makes it easier for the hackers to go in there and scam these people because they don't have the level of protection that a larger enterprise size company may have.
Yep. But they easily could, because I think it's just the oversight on their part. Like with technology right now, you just have to go and implement it because it's two-factor or 2FA, they call it, because it's so hard to pronounce 5 times fast. So let's talk about that, the types of attacks. And Walt has a little bit of a nugget that we got in the real world. This is an actual email that Walt got to try to change direct deposits, right? So basically they email you. Email is the main type, but they could also text. You should also look out for your socials. I have an example as well in an email I got. But yeah, you can see really quick, look, this is a type of an email that someone can get. And what's crazy is they impersonated him, emailed him. So this is that example. This is an example of AI, because the AI didn't know the difference. They see 2 different people's names, blah, blah, blah. They don't realize that William and Walter are the same person. And they try to, hey, Walter, change my, that's so funny. So look out for these types of emails. You can take it down now, Walt. Thank you for sharing that. We just wanted to give you an example. Like that is the type of emails you would get. And again, it's mainly emails, but look out for text messages. Be careful who you're texting. I try to get business off of text. If I have requests, I make them go back and email it to me. Watch out for your socials and your chat, like WhatsApp. I know a lot of companies create unofficial WhatsApp communications, right? And that's how, because it's encrypted. Exactly. But it's encrypted, but it's not regulated by the company.
Yep. You're right.
Right. There are no official chats for company, right? And that, or where they are, but a lot of employees or groups of employees don't use it. They'll kind of create this informal thing. Be careful with that. Yeah, it's encrypted, sure. But if somebody infiltrates that group, for example, I've heard many examples of how terminated employees stay a part of those WhatsApp groups.
Yep.
Because think about it. Your IT, your HR, they're not systematically closing systems, right?
Yep, you're right.
They can't close them out of an unofficial WhatsApp. Right? We can't, inactivate your access to that. We can inactivate your access to technology, but not that. So be careful with the WhatsApp. I got a really good, I knew it was a scam, but I wanted to see how it was going to work. So they emailed me and it was different. It wasn't that whole, hey, do this for me. It was, hey, it was a LinkedIn, and they used LinkedIn branding. And that was another dangerous piece of it. They used the LinkedIn branding, which is easy, right? For a scammer, they don't care. They're copying, pasting, they're taking whatever they got to take. They're a hacker, rather, scammer hacker. And so I knew I got the spidey senses like right away. I got this is not a good email. But I was like, but this is different. So for the education of it, I was like, let me see what it's going to do. And sorry, IT, because I took a chance here, but it was for educational purposes, for research purposes. So I clicked it, and it brought me to a screen that looked like it was LinkedIn, but it was asking me now for personal information. Hey, give me your name, number, at whatever stuff.
Yes.
But it looked like it was a LinkedIn screen.
Yep.
But here's where tech savviness comes in, right? I knew it wasn't legit because my LinkedIn on my computer logs in automatically. If I go to LinkedIn, I instantly get into LinkedIn. I don't have to log in, right? It's just, right? Single sign on with my Google, whatever.
Yep.
So that is how I knew that this wasn't a legit LinkedIn email.
Yep.
Because it didn't automatically open my LinkedIn. So I was like, oh, this is how I know. So you got
that's because you're savvy. That's because you're savvy. You were doing it more so for research. A lot of people, they would just go in, that some people that don't use LinkedIn, some people that don't use all these different platforms that we use as professionals, to go in and they could be fooled by this, bro. I have this little stat up here. Like, consumers reported in 2022, consumers reported losing almost $8.8 billion in scams and fraud in 2022. Scamming is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Because it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game, right? You think about it. They send out and now with AI and all this technology, they can send out 1 million emails in a day. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating, but a lot. And they only need a few of them to hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A small percentage of that to hit to actually make it worth it. And then think about it. If it's on credit card, my mom recently got hit, but it's credit cards, right? Because we should all do all our business on credit cards. You know what I mean? Because it's insured, it's protected. They can tell that it's not you, right? The people were in California making these charges. Like they use stuff that my mom does not buy and places that she was not at, right? So that is a dead giveaway. But here's the thing, right? The scammers are going to get away. The insurance covers it. Everybody gets their money back. But so it's like it's such a horrible cycle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's such a horrible cycle. But here's the thing. The business, what did they call it? BMC? BEC, business email compromise is very different because I've also heard examples, and I say very different because the money is much greater and the insurance, well, if you got good business insurance, I guess it should be there. But on small businesses, that's where they hurt because do they have the right insurances in place to cover this? But I have heard examples in the past and from, in the world, what is it? The gift card thing. Hey, you get an email from your boss or your CEO. Hey, go right now. Can you go buy 100 gift cards for me and just mail them overnight to this and da-da-da-da? What? Oh my God, you got to do it now. Please, I'm in a meeting. It's an emergency. Yep. Go now. And they always do it with that urgency. And it says it in the article here too, right? These emails come with a sense of urgency and you got to do it now. Blah, 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 right? And there've been cases that people have done this. They've gone out and they bought the cards and they were like, oh yeah, I got it. I came to the office. Hey, I got the cards. And they're like, what are you talking about? You sent me an email to go ahead.
Yeah. It's one of the things that it says here. It says it will include language about needing an update, be paid in time for the next payday. Or if I don't get paid, I'll not be able to pay my bills. Those are the type of language structure that these emails have.
Yep.
When we get them, when we receive them from a business standpoint or even a personal scam that you get in emails, I get those emails all the time.
Yep.
And a majority of the time, if you have preview on in your Outlook or whatever, if there's any links in there, it's safe to say, even though Brian was testing his out, don't click any links in that email. One of the things you should do is look at the actual email address.
Yes.
Look at the name, look at the actual email address. If you saw that example, well, I have a copy of it in the show notes and stuff like that. But if you saw the example, it said my name, Walter Duncan, but the email was like a lot of digits.
I have it up. It's C006888 @gmail.com.
Yes. You look at that. Yeah.
It's like basically, what'd you say?
Shady1@gmail.com.
It might as well say that. So that's another dead giveaway. Great call out, Walt. Look at the email address. Look at the email. Like pause.
Yes.
So let's see. So is that, those are all that again, it's really through email. But please watch out for WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a double-edged sword. I love it and I hate it for that reason. For business reasons,
So that's what it works.
it depends on your work. Yeah, for sure. Just watch.
I like what you put on here about other social, and because it made me think about how, like, even now when we post our stuff, our ads and stuff like that, like I'll follow somebody, like I follow Gary Vee on TikTok or one of these social media platforms, right? And as soon as I follow him, here come some bots and some scammers saying, "Oh, _ Gary Vee."
Yeah.
And they have 10,000 followers. Sometimes you don't understand the level of patience,
commitment,
the length that these scammers will go through. They will pay to promote their stuff.
Absolutely.
They will pay $10 a day for 3 days, $30.
Why not?
Stuff. And say, "Oh, look, this person has this many followers. This person has this many likes. This has to be a second account for this guy. So I'm going to trust them." And then they get you scammed just like that.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And again, just the types of way they do things. They infiltrate, they impersonate, and they infiltrate your information. Don't answer emails and stuff, like calls. You get, I get a text a lot that is trying to tell me my Amazon account is frozen and you need to go log on to unlock your Amazon account. Really? All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to understand, one of the things that they do, their research.
Yep.
They will scour the internet, scour the different companies and find out your information. Like I've gotten emails that look exactly like it's somebody from work.
Yep.
It has their name, their job title, has their signature, like their address in the signature, all this other stuff. It looks legit.
Yep.
Only thing off is the email address.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You got to be careful. And the folks are, sometimes folks go too fast. You're such in a rush to get things done.
Yeah.
And you overlook. Another one is when they may not even ask you to cut a check. They may ask you, "Hey, change my direct deposit information for me." Now, right out the gate, if you have an employee self-service system, by default, do not comply.
Yeah.
Right. You have an employee self-service system.
Yeah.
You, as a payroll professional, you should push that escalation to the point where your boss has to say, "Hey, can you do us a favor? And just, this person can't do this. Can you do it for them?" Because now you have all the documentation, you have all the backup, and everybody knows that you're being asked to do something out of compliance or best practice. It's not really compliance. We would like to say compliance, but it's best practice.
Sure.
So don't do it, right? If you have an employee self-service system, don't do it. Just don't. No good deed will go unpunished. Do not change someone's direct deposit information for them. Again, we have an employee self-service system. If you have, that is your solution.
Yeah, it reminds me of a situation. I think one of my payroll friends told me they were like twins and they worked at the same company and they looked and sounded the same. They were like identical twins.
Yeah.
And so one of them was mad at the other one, apparently.
Oh my goodness.
Called in, knew their siblings' information, knew their direct deposit, switched over to them because they were trying to help them out. Like, "Oh, I lost all this. I can't get into it. Can you please help me? Please help me.
Yep.
Please help me."
Great segue. So let's talk about how to protect, right? Again, this is the main issue here with this fraud is email. But again, watch out for the other socials and text. Now, if something has happened, and we're going to tie this back, it's a payroll fail, right? If a disbursement actually gets issued, if a payment is made, that is a payroll fail. We cannot let that happen, right? We have to be diligent about how we process this information. So with that being said, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry to keep interrupting here, but
you're not in a talk show.
So it was, if you're saying it's a payroll fail, if a payment is actually submitted.
Yeah.
The first failure was actually changing the data. right?
It was.
Because it had to be changed first before payroll had done anything.
It was, but it failed somewhere. You have now incurred a payroll failure, so we cannot let that happen. And how do we protect? Perfect segue. So some of the things I do, right, is I'll ask employees, there's a long list of what we need to do, but so some of them is like, I'll ask employees to validate their identity when I'm talking to them. If I'm, if this just requires a conversation, maybe I'm on the road, I'm just looking at this, and can you tell me a little bit about what happens? But if you don't know them personally, I pull up their profile and I'm like, hey, can you give me the last 4 of your social? Can you tell me where you live? Like address, validate who you are, right? Depending on what it is. If it's uncomfortable, then you make them put it in writing, document it. Maybe you have to create a form now. Maybe you have to create a process. But again, do some little things to validate their identity. It's easy. We have their info.
Yes.
I've called employees directly sometimes. I remember my boss asked me something, right? And it seemed weird. And I called him and I was like, hey, did you just really send me? Hey, he's like, yeah, I did. I know. Sorry, it looks crazy, but it was me. When in doubt, don't. You know what I mean? That's just a rule of thumb. When in doubt, don't. If you get that gut feeling, you get, ooh, this doesn't, don't do it and wait. Because believe me, folks are going to be grateful that you didn't make a money mistake and that you waited. If it was legit and there was a time pressure, oh well, sorry, payroll's not built for that. Like it's not built for like these urgency things that should come from somewhere else. Go, get petty cash. Go do something else. Like you should have another solution. And again, I ignore direct deposit, like some of these direct deposit changes, and when I say ignore them, I'll answer them and say, hey, we have employee self-service. Thank you. Have a kind day. That type of thing. Have something scripted and just copy paste. Boom. Now, those are just my little tips. We got a nice little list of things that we as payroll should do.
I wanted to pay points on that before we go down the list. Something that is said that I find interesting during that disbursement part, if it's dispersed, it said that most hackers, once the money is sent to a hacker-controlled account, those funds are quickly transferred to a prepaid or gift card. So you can't pull that money back. So I don't want you to think like, oh, hey, I submitted a payment.
You should still try. Back.
You still try.
Yeah.
You should try.
But this is why it may not work.
This is why it may not work.
Great call out. Yeah. Word. That's a great call out.
So going back to these list of things we could do to prevent these, right? So the first one could be protect your company's payroll policies and procedures by ensuring they are not available publicly.
Yes.
Cyber criminals.
Yep.
Prioritize cybersecurity, firewalls, antivirus software, and encryption. Encryption is important. Like if you send over some documentation, hackers could be waiting for you to send an email. Like they said, they do email phishing.
Yep.
So you can send an email that has an attachment that has certain employee information.
Yep.
Name, rate of pay, like you send a register.
DPI.
Yes, you send an employee roster. It's not password protected.
Census with socials and addresses and this identity theft heaven.
Yes.
So we have to really guard that information. We have to be painfully annoying with it. Hey, I can't send you that. I don't have a secure way to deliver that to you. So a solve is secure email, right?
Yes.
A shared encrypted folders. There's plenty of them out there. So encrypted storage, right? And shared storage, things like that. This one I love, train your employees to recognize and avoid the cyber threats. But what I really love in Kristin's article is additional training to the people who are more likely to be attacked, right?
Okay.
That's something that we really should implement. That's an easy implement now for all companies that don't do it. I write it down here myself. Anywho, because there are teams that are more prone to be attacked, and we should train them out the gate. Hey, this is the protocol you should follow. These are the things you should look out for.
Yes, great point. So if you're in HR, your job title has human resources, or your job title has accounting or finance, or your job title has payroll, you more than likely are going to be targeted at some point.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a whole nother slew of things that they do on the accounting side. And that's a great call out, Wall, because we do have folks that there's probably AP people out there. Accounts payable are like our brother sister roles in this, right? And there's a whole nother slew of attacks that they do on that end because they deal with vendors and so on and so forth. Hey, if you're an AP person, you want to talk about it, come on. Then another one is, and this was interesting, institute pay cards as a means to reduce checks and not direct deposit, but as a means to reduce checks. So I never thought about it like that, from a security standpoint, but that's a great call out as well. Look at that.
I wonder why that is, because if we have pay cards, we can, as a company, can shut it off or control it, or.
Well, no, it's not a live check. You don't have a live check floating around. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah. And on that live check, right? I don't have to mail somebody a check now. On that check is PPI. They know, you know what I mean? So it's that security breach type of thing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Consider limiting access to sensitive financial information. Absolutely. These are very, there should be very basic access permissions within your company. If you're even a small company, you should think about these things. Like I think we've said it before in other shows, when you're building a company, you should build it to scale right away. Think about, you're going to build it at this level, but you want to scale immediately. So kind of implement those, think about it, at least the securities that you want to have as you scale. So it's already there. Not sharing personal information such as PINs, social security numbers. This is such a common, right? People do this and they think it's, oh, my PIN is this and my PIN is that. Whoa, no, don't say that.
Send it over text, send it via email.
Yes. If
you're going to do that, call and say it over the phone.
Here's another common mistake people make. They'll send a password protected document in the email, and then in the next email, they put the password. You have now defeated the purpose. You should call the password in, have an established password with someone so that you don't have to keep sharing it. Hey, it's always going to be this, and you've established that on the phone or in person. Like folks, what the problem is? Like, it's never a problem until it's a problem. You know what I mean? And we try to safeguard and we try to warn folks, don't do this, don't do that. Then when it happens and people are burned and people lose money and things then it's like, oh, we really should be tougher at this. Yeah, we've been saying it for years. You know what I mean? So it's frustrating, but just like we always say, payroll has to be the squeaky wheel sometimes. We put things on record. We have to politely document things. We have to do these things so that you have, I only got burnt one time. Somebody burned me by saying, hey, you should have gone on record. Oh, word? That you ain't got to tell me again. You know what I mean? So lifelong lesson that I'll never make that mistake again. So don't share our personal stuff like that, please. We have to have a heightened awareness of this stuff. Login credentials, of course. People share. Oh, I'm gonna text you on my email. Here's. Be careful. Don't text your bank information to people. There's like my oldest always like, oh, send me the Amazon password. No, I'm not actually going to do that. So you lose, and then of course, use technology. We were talking about how small businesses sometimes don't have 2FA. You have to implement technology. Most things right now are very affordable to build a small business. All the technology is there to build it correctly, to build it to scale. Use those things, implement technology. And
multi-factor authentication.
I can't say it. That's why I didn't say it, because it's authentication, 2-factor authentication. 2FA is what I like better.
I've heard of this one, but I don't know if I'm really familiar. It's just incorporated secure email.
Me neither. Software that emails are scanned for suspicious attachments. And so you know what? I'm going to say that I think it's, how currently we'll get, I don't know if you've been blocked from any of your vendors, right? You have to ask IT to let them through.
Yes.
I believe this is probably, right what it is, right? they're scanning what's coming in and they're flagging things as suspicious.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So, and in addition to that, what they don't mention here is secured email or the shared drives. Again, the shared encrypted drives, secure emails. A lot of my vendors, like, will have some secure email and they're like, oh, send us this. I'm like, well, you guys got secure email. Send me a secure email and I'll send it in there, because vendors usually don't have a shared drive unless you deal with them regularly. Like if they're ongoing, then some of our vendors we do have shared drives with secured share drives. These are the solutions, folks. If you're not operating, we're in payroll. Okay. Again, we're not the fiduciary responsibility, but we do have fiduciary responsibility and we need to protect. We are the guardians of this information. We have to protect the information. Another thing I don't do is I don't talk to a lot like husbands or wives or bosses about someone's pay. You know what I mean? And, oh, I'm the wife of this one, or I'm the husband of that one. That's nice. Like, but you don't work here with us. Unfortunately, you're not my customer. If they're on the phone with them, then like most places, what can they do? Hey, if you have them on, it's your business. I'm not going to talk to your spouse. I'm not talking to your brother. I've had parents try to call me. Oh, and I'm,
that's best practice, right?
Yes, best practice.
Because like people can give you a sob story and cry and tell you this, and they could just be reading from something. People can act.
Absolutely. It could be somebody that you actually know, and they know enough to pose as something else and be like, oh, people do crazy things, right? I don't put anything past anybody. So this is why you have to safeguard this stuff, because you never know who's going to try to impersonate. So for that reason, again, I don't talk to others. Even their supervisor, a lot of times supervisors, their managers, oh, can we talk about this person? No, we actually can't. That's their personal business. Of course, it depends on what we're talking about. But if they ask something personal, it's like, nah, usually like around medical. Oh, their medical or dental, their 401k or this, that, and the third is off. Can we talk? Nope. They can call me and we can talk about it, or you can have them on the phone. You know what I mean? So just,
great call out.
Yes, we gotta be mindful about this, to the point that FBI even has recommendations. Again, shout out to Kristin in this article.
Yeah, this is amazing.
And wait, I just want to make sure. What's Kristin Hines? And we have the link will be in the show info, of course, and stuff like that. It's a very in-depth article. We are just summarizing. And look at this. As we talk about this, I'm getting a scam text.
Really?
Yeah. Just got a scam text. Get them So we got to be careful, folks. So FBI says apply heightened scrutiny to bank information. I guess we just kind of covered that. To bank information initiated by employees seeking to update or change direct deposit credentials. So now we do that. We do employee self-service, and that, most systems allow for an encrypted exchange and a safe deal. But it is something that your IT folks should vet when you're or you yourself, who be part of the team. Make sure you bring that up. And if you're looking at new systems, vet them for security.
I like this next one. This next one is
monitor employee logins that occur outside normal business hours. That is a very good one. And I guess where they're logging in from, you can create. Here's another one that's not mentioned here: VPNs.
Yes.
You can provide your employees with these VPN network. They have it where two-factor, and now you're home, but you're connecting to your company's network. You're using that network, and you're on the shared network, and it's like you're there. And that is preferable, because now it's, you're safe. If you're right, your company can encrypt and protect in that environment. So that's really ideal. What else? Restrict access to internet and systems handling sensitive information, implement 2FA. And of course, these kind of basic things, but it's like, it's the everyday fundamental habits that build success, right? Right. It's these it's small habits repeated consistently that build really great practice. And that's what you have, right? Routine. Some people hate routine, but that's the building blocks for success, is having some routine and following that, and gets monotonous and all that. But payroll people are only, this ain't for you. This ain't for you. Get out of the business, right?
Yes.
If this does sound interesting, get in the business. We need you. Right.
Yes.
Right. It's just a certain thing and I believe that for anything, right? Do what you love. The money will follow. Do what you love. You never work a day in your life type of thing. Some of us are good at this. Some of us aren't. And the last one, the FBI says, is only allow required processes to run on systems handling sensitive information. So that kind of sounds like the VPN deal, right? Like you can only do this on our VPN, on our network. That's why also, sidebar, payroll was always considered a non-remote job.
Yeah.
Because of the sensitivity of the information, right? Payroll, and I promise there are probably still companies out there that deal with a lot of paper as they do payroll. And they have comfort in that. So for that reason, if you can't adjust to using digital, then you got to go to the office, because you definitely can't be running around town with payroll registers in your bag or things like that. Employee profiles, list of payments to be made. You can't run around town with that, right? You can't go home with that. So, but you can go home with a laptop and log onto your VPN and only function on your company's network and secured and encrypted and process payroll. You know what I mean? Especially with screens, you can have multiple big screens and you can absolutely do payroll digitally 100% nowadays.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of what it's saying, allow sensitive processes to only be done on certain systems, on certain networks. Can't do this outside of this network or what have you.
Yep.
Man, that was a good one, man. That was good.
Yeah. Thank you, Kristin, for writing this article and sharing this information. I think it's important and something
absolutely
that most payroll professionals know, but sometimes it's good to rehash this stuff and go over it and kind of like charge that brain. And I didn't think about this. I haven't looked at this in a while. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I guess one of the tips before we end, one of the tips I have is, even if I do call someone to verify information, I just don't do the typical, give me your last 4. I say, give me your last 5.
I like that.
Your social.
Change it up. Give me the middle 3.
Something.
I like that.
The reason I say that though, because a lot of these different reports, a lot of these and different systems,
so right.
They mask.
You're so right.
Socials, but sometimes they do partial maskings, and so these reports have the last 4 in it. So a scammer has
great call out.
Last 4. Oh, I got that.
Great call out. Word.
Trying to say ask for the middle 3,
middle 2, or
the last 6, the last 5, something
that's
that
right.
They may not have access to, that only the employee would know.
Yep. Oh, that's right. We used to do the last 6 somewhere, right?
At Charter, we started doing that.
Yes. That's right. That's a great call out. Yeah. And that's kind of the theme for this season, folks, is kind of, fundamentals, rehashing what best practices as a whole. We're going to talk about, I don't know we never know exactly what the order is going to be, but we do know what we'd like. We have set out a roadmap for the season, and we're going to do OT, or we're going to talk about overtime in an episode because it deserves it, right? What else we got? We're going to do best practices with Fran. We don't know when she's a globetrotter and like a heavy Yankee fan. She's like, I got to see the Yankee games. Fran, can you tell me what day you're coming on? Shout out to Sylvia in Poland. I had a great conversation with Sylvia from Poland the other day. We just chatting about payroll, bro. We have chatting about pay. Yeah, man. Congratulations on her new role. She's going into payroll transformation. It's funny because we talked about that title when we were talking about talent and pillar 1, a kind of a pillar 1 item, right? When we're talking about job titles and stuff like that. That title, I don't know if it was her role that I saw, but I saw payroll transformation specialist. I was like, this is amazing. These are amazing titles. I think we need to do a show, and probably, I don't know if it'll be this season, but I think it's a pillar 1 type deal where we cover titles and kind of, I would love to map it out for folks. Like, look, these are in the same bucket. These are, I think, are equal. until we standardize this, right? Until payroll's an industry and we standardize titles for payroll, we can do it on the show right now, not right now, but right here. We can do it. Yeah, right. I get excited with this stuff, man. And because I keep thinking about that, how titles are different. And it's like, man, there's so many titles, and what do they all mean? What does it really mean? Where do you rank with these titles? What does it mean to be a payroll specialist, coordinator, or clerk? Is it the same? Maybe not. I don't know. So anyway, more with that. But so again, this season 5 is kind of fundamentals, best practices, hot topics.
Yep. We got OT on here. We have data validation. We got separation of duties, checks and balances. These are different potential things that we're going to talk about this season. And I think, any idea that any of you have out there, any listeners, anything you want to talk about, anything that we missed, let us know. Shoot.
Well, you have the email. You can do that, and now we're always going to have the Q&A open on the show chats on Spotify has it.
Yep.
But of course, we're on LinkedIn. We're on TikTok now. We're on. I think I might be a little bit buried on IG, but YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, and our show. And we're gonna have our website launch is going to relaunch soon. And we're going to have direct connect, right? You'll be able to just engage with us and the whole It's About Payroll experience and company. And as we continue to deliver solutions for you guys and information and whatever the industry needs, right? Whatever payroll needs, we are going to try to bring that to you, facilitate it. We're going to bring it. We're going to bring folks. We're really excited about that. So keep listening, keep coming back. We're the #1 payroll show out there, folks. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you listen to podcasts, we're there. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yeah. And if you're in pay, we're going to have pay stub information. Man, we've developed some cool things, some cool information. We just keep you informed about payroll, about your paycheck. Right? What's important to know about your paycheck, right? If you're a fan that's come to the show and you listen to the true crime and hey, we get a little gritty sometimes. It's not just true crime and fun. We're talking, this is about payroll. It's about payroll people. So we like to deliver some of that. But if you're the true crime fan and you're like, oh man, I stumbled on this they really got into payroll here. Yes, stick around. Look out for the pay stub series. We already did a season on pay stubs. Check that out. And we'd come back with more because we keep seeing so much information just kind of developing around that space. So we'll be back with more for that. What else, Walt? What else, man?
I think that's it, man. I think it's
right?
Good start.
Great show.
First episode under wraps.
Yeah.
Starting off, man. Like, this is exciting.
Yeah.
We have tons of content coming your way, tons of nuggets, tons of different things. So we want to hear back from you. We want to hear honest, constructive criticism, and even things that, are going to help us get better and help us, grow. Because we're still growing as the payroll professionals. We're still growing. We've been in this for, over 4 decades collectively. But it's, you never
still learning. That's the beauty of it. We still, I think that's what makes it fun for payroll folks who really love it. We never stop learning, man. And, like I always say, if we're the smartest ones in the room, we're in the wrong room. So please don't hesitate to reach out, like Sylvia did from Poland, man. Oh, what a great conversation we had.
I'm sorry I missed that.
Smart. Next time, we'll do, we're going to keep in touch, man. We're going to keep in touch and continue to talk payroll. Folks are so passionate about payroll. And I love talking to smarter people. So come on the show, man. We're about, a knowledge share. And I think that's what it's about because it's so hard to get all of the knowledge in one place. But we can create that community to get that done. So payroll desperately needs it. And we can be that for it, So let's do it. Keep growing, keep learning. You know what I mean? Keep going. You know what I mean? All right, man. That was a great one. Thank you. Oh, your shirt is
Thank
awesome, by the way, bro. I'm sorry. I meant to say
you.
that. Mood and
After a long week of payroll, it's just how you feel on the weekend.
yes, exactly, man. So, yeah, awesome. Have a great work week, folks.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of our podcast. We appreciate you. We're grateful for you. And we hope that the information that we'll share with you will impact you as a payroll professional. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.